Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chair Yoga. Today is December 22nd. It's the day after the Winter Solstice date, and it's also considered the first day of winter. Of course, it's near the holiday. It's just a wonderful time for us to gather. I'm glad you're here to be able to participate in this. It's kind of a special day in the calendar in terms of the season. This is the darkest time of the year. So for a practice, it's typically done as a yin practice, yin and yang, those various, shadow, the light and the dark. And this is that time of darkness, which is the yin. So the practice will be a more reflective, more grounded, um, less big open movements standing up, more centered and grounded, and just an awareness of that sort of as a restorative reflection. So I've got a nice ending to this. Um, Thanks to a pen pal I have found through this chair yoga on Zoom, a woman named Maureen. I hope Maureen is tuned in from New York. It's quite a story how we got connected, but we continue to correspond. And she sent me a beautiful little prayer to end this class with today. So I'm happy to pass it on. But you know me with my morning rituals, I do have a number of morning rituals, reflection times. And the one today, I just thought, well, I can't pass this up. I'm going to absolutely start with this. I thought it was so lovely. So let's find our good posture. Bring yourself into your chair more mindfully now. Sit the way you know how to start. Make sure your feet are to the floor, that you're not leaning into the backrest. Or if you do, that remember to bring yourself forward of that when the time comes. But use good posture, use mindfulness now, and let's begin our transition into our practice for this winter solstice time. This reading for December 22nd from Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart is a book I received from as a Christmas gift. And so I'm just starting with it, really, really enjoying it so far. This is a beautiful reading. Practice the power of respect. It is a quiet power, one that caught me by surprise on my journey. I had heard about it before, but somehow in the shuffle of life, I had forgotten it. Respect. Respect is a spiritual power, a power of the heart, one that's closely connected to gratitude, yet somehow different. It is an attitude toward people, toward life, toward ourselves that only takes a moment to convey, yet somehow has far reaching effects. It does more than free people to be themselves, it encourages them to be their best. How's that for a line? It does more than free people to be themselves, it encourages them to be their best. It honors people, life, and the mysterious connection we each have to the divine. Have a series of life experiences caused you to forget respect? In your anger, did you decide that certain persons or groups of people were undeserving of respect? Has familiarity with yourself or another caused you to forget to practice respect? Let go of the past. It's over. But your power to transform the future has just begun. Respect and honor yourself. Respect the needs of your body, the needs of your heart, and the dictates of your soul. Respect the lives of others. Respect the gift of life. Bow in spirit to all you meet. Bow to the gifts of the universe, the sun, moon, earth, sea, and stars. Honor all that lives, the trees, the wildflowers, the eagle soaring high, the deer in the woods, the squirrel scurrying up the tree, the June bug that lights on your shoulder. Each has its place in this world. So do you. Discover the power of respect, then practice it often. Let it change your world. So let's begin with that reflection, closing your eyes, bringing your block to your inner thighs so that you can really feel the experience of your legs. We're into the lower part of the body in this sense of grounding. Take some deep breaths to just kind of let those words of respect simmer as we begin our practice together. Feel your body transform itself into right alignment. Deepen the breath. So you partner that right alignment with a deeper, fuller breath experience. Feel your feet on the earth. And be aware that with each breath, you're drawing from that Mother Earth energy. You're pulling it into you. Just honoring this time, this very special time of the year. In various ways, right? We can all, relate to this time as being special. We all have our own particular story about that, perhaps. Soften the mouth, relax where you can. Relax, that part of your body where you often hold stress and tension. Let's go there with loving kindness to release and soften wherever we can there. And maybe make it your part of your intention today in this practice that you revisit that part of your body throughout this hour of practice so that you can continue to release, relax, and restore your body and your heart. That's a big part of what I always want to say summer, the winter solstice time is that it's just reminding us that we've come from this continued darkening time in our season as a way for this. That's just the nature's way of resetting. Remember, I use that term a lot, reset the body. So we've been in that mode of, giving this opportunity to reset because there's less activity for many of us in the northern hemisphere. It's colder. There's not as many activities outside, so that gives us that time to reflect, restore the body. And then, beginning now, we start to turn toward the sun so that by June, when the summer solstice arrives, we find that we've had this progressive movement toward new experiences, toward maybe awakening to new points of view, and maybe more physicality in the world, that we engage more fully with nature and more active. One more full breath in and out. Follow that breath through your body. Feel it in the body, wherever that might be. And let's open the eyes. We'll begin our movement. So let's start with some shoulder rolls. You can choose hands are resting on your lap, which is going to be a little softer approach, not such heavy arms, or letting your arms drape alongside the frame of the chair. So a little more challenge, if you will, as we start to move those shoulders up, back, and down. Try to hold your head still so that the spine and the head, right now, you're just kind of lifting, lengthening, and letting the shoulders move around that. The spine is kind of this center point, kind of this place from which you move, and your shoulders are moving around that. We won't continue with that forever, but right now, let's just see if we can really feel our feet to the floor and push into the ground as you lift up through your whole body, and you can feel how feet to the ground actually stabilize the spine. Now, same roll of the shoulder, but do one shoulder at a time. And now we're going to turn the head. So now as we move, we're actually going to feel this relationship of shoulder roll with turning the head. So the shoulders and the neck are so very related. And this gives us an opportunity to feel that and move with that and get to know it, respect it, respect this in our body, that there is that connection. And we want to really tend to this in our body. Because the ability to move side to side, to look side to side, and be that comfortable in our space is really helpful. It feels safer, I think. One more shoulder roll on each side. And when you come back to center, let's shrug the shoulders and release them. Shrug and release. So this is moving into your, oh, I love it when that happens, when the muscle comes, the trapezius muscle. So we're into that cape-like muscle that covers the back and lays onto the tops of the shoulders. Really squeeze now, squeeze and hold, squeeze like crazy. And then release that all. And then we're going to go the opposite way with those shoulder rolls. So both shoulders at the same time, try to stabilize your spine, no movement of the head right now. Rolling, so the shoulder blades are coming, spreading apart. Feel your feet to the earth. Pull your belly in for more core strength and stability. But just turn that dial, turning the dial of abdominal strength and engagement on, but not up to high. Put it on a lower, medium, low kind of setting, so you can really hold it there. You can sustain it without too much effort. Now, when we do the individual shoulder rolls forward, that's where we're going to turn the head to help with that as well. And I want you to actually move your arms. So it's, kind of looks like a swimming stroke. And turn your head the way it feels natural to do. Because again, we're just trying to feel and experience this connection of shoulders and neck. They're entirely related in the movement of the body. They're entirely related. And so we're just, encouraging that, taking care of it. And pay attention to what your body might be inviting you to do in terms of broader movements or modifying it so it's not so broad. See what your body is up for today. And just because it's a yin practice doesn't mean you won't encourage yourself and give yourself more of a challenge. You would. You very well might want to continue with that challenging. It's not like it's counterproductive to this solstice practice. Next time let's just wind it down so both of those shoulders seem to have about the same amount of movements. We're going to go back to the shrugging and releasing. Let it be a big breath in and that you hold as you squeeze and release. And release. Good. Let's put the block to the side. We're going to use it in a minute, but for now, I want to have a little wider stance. Heels are in, toes are out, and we're circling around a little bit. So keeping your spine and your head in alignment so that the spine moves with the head moves with the spine. I'm going to move into the perineum right away. Let's get into that strengthening of the perineum. So next time you come forward on that and you're bringing your body into that diagonal line, make sure the back of your head feels in line with your spine. You're not letting your head thrust forward. Press your hands really firmly into your thighs and then begin the movement. And I'm going to encourage all of us to use the O, the shape of the O in your mouth as you take your inhale. Pull it in through an O shape of the mouth that really brings us in line with the vagal tone. And that's a good practice. So inhale, lift, and hold. And let that inhale be through an O shape of your mouth. Let the exhale come as it does. You don't need to control it. You can just let it release as it just naturally does. Retention is your avenue to success here. So if you can lift and hold and retain that longer and longer with this practice, that's going to benefit you. So you want to try to feel the inner thighs engage, pulling up into the Mula Bandha. That's the base of that perineum, the base of the pelvis is in the language of yoga, the Mula Bandha, a source of strength, very centered, very powerful direction in the body. Can you feel belly engagement too? Can you kind of feel how the navel, that area is engaging to help you with this? All right. Now let's continue to hold it if you can, that you're just going to lift and hold, but then we're going to let our arms come away from us. So now we're relying on our leg strength. really relying on that connection of feet to the earth. You can just feel it so powerfully. So you could hold it right here. If you want to challenge yourself, arms could extend out in front of you. Make sure you don't pull your shoulders with it. So what I mean is, see the reach of the shoulders? And I'm talking shoulder blades. Can you keep those shoulder blades back on the back body and the arms extended just through the range of movement in those shoulder sockets without pulling our shoulder blades too far apart? And then ratchet it up a little bit. That's going to give you more challenge. If you want to let those arms lift a little higher, keep pushing your feet to the ground. Find your breath, see what your breath is doing to compensate for this. And come up. Now release any pull of the pelvic floor and instead plant your sit bones into your chair seat. Really plant them. And can you feel how that adjusts your low back? And then lift all the way up. Palms come together up there. Exhale, let's bow to the heart. Inhale up. And exhale, go all the way down to a T. I want you to open up your hands wide, spread your fingers apart so you're stretching the palm of your hand. What you're doing there is stretching the fascial layer around your hands and wrists. It's helpful for all the muscles of the arm when you do that. And then I want you to just rotate around. Just start rotating those arm bones. So an easy way to access that is palms up, palms down. That's a rotation. Or you can move it all the way around. But just how you're facing your palms will give you the rotation. Keep your feet really planted. Try to keep your spine long. Your head is right aligned, right up above the tailbone. Let's lift up now. Let's lift up. We're going to come into what I always consider this Y when we go through that alphabet. Let the shoulder blades drop down the back. Don't hunch them up. Let those shoulder blades drop down the back. And when you lift up, press your feet to the floor. Feel your rib cage lift up. So this back bend, I often direct it. It's just a little correction I'm making in my own languaging here. I'll say pull the hands back. And it kind of takes you out of your shoulders. Takes your shoulder, the humerus bone, right? And those upper arms kind of pulls them a little bit out of their socket in a way that might not be as beneficial as it could be. So let's make the chest do it. So let's let the whole rib cage lift up and lean back. And then your arms kind of stay where they are. They're just plugged into the arm socket there. And it's just it's chest, chest, chest. That's how you're feeling this back bend opportunity here. Pay attention to how your head and neck are doing. And of course, the best way to figure all that out is what's your breath like? How's the breath? So we've done the Y shape as we neutralize ourselves. Come back to neutral. We're going to come back to the T, and we're going to drop into this most challenging one, which is the L shape. Let's start with bringing our palms forward and into this posture of receiving. Let's take a moment. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Close your eyes. Now stabilize this posture, but feel how your hands are open to receive. So we reconnect to kind of our intention for class today. What did we come here for? We're here using this yin practice of connecting to the earth, feeling the value of restoring ourselves and honoring this time of darkness for self-reflection, rest, recuperation, body, mind, and soul. And we're open to receive it. Good, let's flutter the eyes open. Take a deep breath just to sort of start over now. Get back to the physicality as we start to spread our hands apart, keeping those elbows drawn right tight to the body, and just see where there's a stop sign, because there surely is one. You got to stop somewhere and just feel the engagement in your body, just to open your hands like this, open your arms like this. And use leg strength, use the core strength of grounding your sit bones into the chair seat, and watch how that helps by the fact that the lower body, let's say waist down, is super strong and helpful and stable. And just watch how that helps you explore. And again, how do we know what's happening in the body? We check in with the breath. We're looking for a smooth, rhythmic movement. And we're going to release that. Release that into the T shape again. And then let's turn the palms forward. Let's do a little series of open and close. So I want you to spread those wings, spread those arms back. And then as you round the back body, you're hunching and finding the roundness of the back as a closed position. So inhale, open, and exhale, close. Open is the yang expression. Closing is the yin. And we have that in our body movements of our breath and everything about us day to day is we could start identifying this yin and yang position in our body, expression in our body and in our existence, really. So open and close. Open is the inhale, rounding through the back, and closing is the exhale. Feel movement of your spine, movement of the shoulder blades, movement of the belly. Trust your body. Trust your body to enlighten the soul. I love that saying. Excellent. Let's open it up wide, and then we're going to bring our interlaced hands behind the head. Spread those wings. You're going to spread your elbows apart and lean back into your hands, that little pocket of support you've created now. Lift your chest now. Lift up. Feel your feet to the earth. You want a good sense of stable ground, stable foundation to support this. Exhale completely. Head comes back to neutral, and we're going to tilt way down to come into connection with our leg. So take your time, because you got to go all the way down and all the way up. Now, if you need to modify, if all the way down is not accessible to you, just find where your stop sign is and go in and out from there. But be open to the possibility that you might start working it out, that you might find a little more wiggle room in your body because you took it slow and respectful as you just moved into these side to side movements. Connect it with your breath so the movement connects with your breathing. That's just a good strategy so that your body has everything available that you can to really, do your best. Let's do one more on each side. And when we come out of that, we're opening into the goddess position of our arms. So the bent elbows, bringing your fingers together and your thumbs extending away. See if you can bring just arms together, opening and closing. Strong belly, strong core, but not super high. We still have the dial on about a medium low, but it's strong enough for sure. Now let's hold those arms open and see if you can hold them like they are and bring your feet together. Oh, you got to be close to the front edge. That's what I just discovered. Close to the front edge of your chair so that you can move. It takes a little rocking, no doubt about it. You got to kind of rock yourself into that. And then let's see if we could add it all together. Open up the knees and then bring both arms together and legs together. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Now don't stare at the screen. Pay attention to what you're doing. Breathe. Feel how you need to kind of rock a little bit, what kind of compensation you need to do so that you can get your legs to move at the same time as your arm. Because what's controlling that? What's giving you permission to that? Your core, your strength of your core. I find it kind of helpful to remember to place myself together, that it's very intentional, placing my feet apart, placing them in the center. Let's meet in the closed position. Palms are together, elbows are together, knees are together, and your focus is straight ahead. Head, neck, and spine in a line. You're just going to keep your drishti straight there, looking at your arms. Let's find a little crunching action here. Where's core strength is kind of a underlying theme here. elbows up, and bringing yourself all the way down to meet your legs, meet your knees. Now, the kind of back bend you want to offer, that's up to you. You're finding what's your range of movement here. What do you want to invite in? And what does your breath say about all that? Can you feel the smoothness of your breath? Keeping elbows and forearms together, palms together. And you're noticing how much muscle activity that requires in your arms just to do that. Let's do two more. And we'll come back to neutral. We're in our closed position. Let's move to the open position. So feet open up and our heels are in, toes are out. You drop your hands down, fingers are pointing to the floor. Now you just kind of notice how when you're just doing this with your arms, how those shoulder blades want to hunch up towards your throat and your, up toward, not your throat really, but your neck and your ears. So you're just seeing if you could redirect. And then when we come out of it, let's just go slow motion now. Holding your elbows up and just feeling the engagement of the arms. Pull the belly in, into that medium low. And then when we come out of it, we're going to drop those arms slowly enough that we can feel the shift. We can feel the disengagement of those arms. So we can really respect what we've been doing. You're thinking, oh, that was quite a release. You can really feel it. So any reset your body needs now, that's up to you. Any reset, this is a good time for that. When you're ready, bring your feet back closer together so you're more like hips distance apart. And we're going to interlace our hand underneath our thigh and start to just circle the leg. So let your leg hang like a rag doll. And you're circling around. Now, what you're doing is creating a nice range of circular movement through your knee joint. So stay with one circle going a certain way here. Let it start to release and feel more natural as you go. And then change the direction so you're getting a broad scope here in terms of movement through that knee. This is all a perfectly healthy and natural range of movement in the knee, but it is not all that practice. So it's nice to introduce it. Now let's hug the knee up toward the chest. And this time we're going to interlace our hands right into the shin so we can pull up. And now we're going to move those kind of movements into the foot and into the ankle. So we've done this lots of times. This is not new. And we're just going to wake that up, find the snap, crackle, and pop of it, and stay with it. And remember, stay up tall. Don't slouch just because you got your knee up there. Just give yourself the strong, long spine. The standing leg, the leg you're not doing anything with, well, it's pushing into the floor, creating more stability for you. Find your breath, feel where you are in the rhythm and smoothness of your breathing. So we've done the knee, we've done the ankle. Let's get into the hip. So I want you to just get a hold of your foot and ankle. Get your foot up there. Lift it up so your shin is just as high up as you can seem to make it. Hold your leg, your knee, however you need to, so you can start moving. You're just moving around in your hip. Maybe it's circular, maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's a lot choppier than those others that we just did. Those were very circular, easy peasy. This one, not quite so much, but you're in your hip. And so you're just, this is your intention. This is what you're doing. We're respecting this movement and the maybe limitations there are there. No judgment about it. Just discovering and inviting more. We're inviting more movement. Flex that foot. Really pay attention to how you're holding that. Flex that foot because that's more muscle engagement in your leg. Now let's take that leg all the way out to the side. Here's where your block might be helpful. So kind of keep it nearby in case you decide to use it. I'm going to kind of scoot myself over to the side of the chair knee goes out into a right angle. The standing leg is still in its right angle. Now orient yourself front, just like you were. So just because you extended your leg doesn't mean you turn that way. Keep yourself oriented to the front and press your feet to the floor. Let's pull the belly in and lift up the whole rib cage so we feel like we have a real strong core in terms of just the trunk of the body. And then we're going to rest our elbow and forearm into our knee and thigh. Turn your head so your ear is facing where your elbow is. Now, here's where the block might be useful for those of you who could go deeper into this fold. Instead of having your elbow on the leg, you could bring your hand to the block. And so you're in a deeper folding or a deeper side bend. So you choose. I'm going to choose the sort of moderate way to do it. But remember, the block is a nice way. If you could touch the floor, you don't need, you can skip bypass the block altogether. That's fine. But don't do it if you're lifting yourself way up to do that. So if you can do it because you've got that kind of stretchability and your hips and buttocks are staying down on the chair, awesome. We're going to slide that other arm right past your ear. Put your mitten hand on here so it's more intentional. Remember, just notice how your ears are, where they're facing, how they might be connected. I like to have my upper arm very close to the head and ear. Now breathe into your body. The place of most awareness in my experience of this is the right side, is to keep that down over there. Because, you're just inviting this lifting away from the chair, but we're inviting grounding here in our practice of the solstice. We're staying close to the Mother Earth energy. So push it back down into the chair. And it'll stabilize your low back. One more breath. Take a big sweeping action to come out of that. And let's even do another one of those. I liked it. All the way up and all the way around. We're going to just switch sides now. I'm going to move the block over there just to remind you in case you want to do it as well. Bring it over, kind of scoot yourself over. Both legs in a right angle, standing leg. That center leg is going to be always engaged. Let's lift up the whole rib cage. The whole trunk of the body is lifting up as we lean our elbow into our thigh. Maybe palm faces up. And again, maybe you choose the block or the floor if you've got that bendability, but keep your pelvis connected to the chair. The whole pelvis connected to the chair. I'm going to add something different here this time. Instead of just skating the arm past the ear, instead, bring your hand behind your back and pull that shoulder back and feel how that is. See how you've really kind of maneuvered your shoulder and your shoulder blade in a way. It's very healthy alignment that you're creating here. And then once you feel that, then see how just that little adjustment, that little change that you did, how does that feel now when you reach your arm right past your ear? Pay attention to how you're holding your head and where your ears are facing. Feet to the floor, pushing the whole pelvis connected to the chair. Breathe in and out. Exhale completely. And when we come up, we're going to swing that arm all the way around and we're going to do it again. Big breath in and out. Let's get both legs back to center now. And center yourself. Again, pelvis is really connected to the chair seat, so you feel a lot of stability. But you're far enough forward that you're going to have a lot of leg, movement of the leg available to you. Let's start. I've got a little touch of the chair. Nice way to start, maybe. And just kind of marching, get those feet flexed up, up, up. Nice long spine. Really keep your sit bones grounded so you can feel that connection all the whole time you're moving your legs. You feel the sit bones into the chair. Now we're going to do a little pattern, not hard. Bent knee, straight leg, bent knee, back to the floor. Alternate bent knee, straight leg, bent knee, back to the floor. Bent knee, straight leg, bent knee down. That's it. What I want you to try now while you're doing the pattern is less engagement and less holding on to the chair. Maybe you can do it with your hands at your waist. Maybe you'd like to do it with your hands in a prayer position. So you decide how you might kind of challenge yourself to use the strength of your core and not so much holding on to the chair to add to that. Now, if holding on to the chair for whatever reason is a better choice for you, you don't need to make an apology to anybody. You hold on to that chair. Notice what your breath is doing. Maybe you're starting to feel it rev up a little more. It's a little more efforting. Let's do it on each leg one more time. And lift up your hands. So arms are reaching up, get those shoulder blades laying down. See if you can feel like you plugged your arm bones into those shoulder sockets. Catch up with your breath right here. Feel yourself on the ground. Let's close our eyes and find a breath that's moving from the soles of the feet right up the body into the tips of your fingers and back down to your feet. Just a couple breaths like that. That's going to really be a nice reset, both body, mind, and spirit. And let's open the eyes. Now we're going to move into a little bit more action where we're just lifting up the straight leg and bringing those straight arms to touch. All of this is located right in front of us. Find your breath. Inhale up, maybe. Exhale, touch. That could be a way you find the pattern of breath. Open and sort of a close because you feel how you're closing your legs in towards your arms. Pay attention to your body, what you're doing. Don't stare at the screen. One more on each leg. And when we come out of that, let's take that big backstroke kind of a movement very slowly so you can feel the disengagement of your arms. Beautiful. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side. You don't need to do anything different. Just so you can see what's happening from the side view, you stay just where you are. We're going to do some chair pose practices. That's where we're lifting ourselves off of the chair, keeping those knees bent. So see if you can just practice that, getting yourself up off the chair. You're not standing up yet. You're just pressing your hands into your thighs. And then we're going to lift and hold. Lift that up and hold. Now, if you're feeling any strain in your knees, just don't do it. Sit right back down. If you're able to pull your body weight toward the chair so it takes it right out of your knees, then you can participate in this. This is like phase one of this. Hands are on the thighs, pressing your feet to the floor, real strong thighs. Hands at the prayer position is phase two, maybe if you decide that's a challenge you'd like to take in or participate in. The most challenging to me is arms up. Let's come all the way down to the chair. Catch up with your breath. Breathe in and breathe out, real tall, strong in your posture. Feel your feet to the floor. We're getting back into the thighs, back into the strength of the buttocks. One more time now. Lift up, hands on the thighs. I'm just giving you the variety. You choose which one you want to do. Prayer position or arms up. Find your breath. Let your breath help you decide. Can you breathe easily? Are you able to go through your rhythm of breath? Then that's a good choice. One more full breath cycle. Come back to the chair. Take a pause. Reset the body. Any movement your body needs. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just turning the other way. Only we're going to bring our legs together, the mermaid leg. And we're bringing our elbows and forearms together like we did. Inhale up. Exhale, touch. We're going to kind of pattern the body here. And we're going to offer a twist. So take your left elbow to the outside of your leg. So you're kind of almost forces your legs together. You're creating some pressure there. Hands come to the prayer position. We turn our head in such a way that the ear is facing the floor. Find your twist. Let's come back to center, see if we can set that up on the other side. I'm not going to turn. I bet you can do it. Elbows way down there, palms together. Turn your head appropriately and press your palms and elbows are kind of straight up and down from each other now. Now lengthen through the trunk of your body. It's like you're trying to pull your whole shoulder carriage away from your pelvis. It's subtle. It's not this major mind. It's a subtle expression. It's a subtle stretch. Find that breath in and out. And let's come back to center. Let's meet here in the prayer position with our legs together. Inhale up. Exhale, bow to the heart. Inhale up. And exhale, go all the way around. One more twist before we move into our meditation time. Just cross your leg. Take a big inhale up. Turn away from where your foot is. Turn away from you're turning toward the top leg. Use the chair or not to support you, revolving around the spine. Include the movement of your head and neck as that's allowed, as that's available. But invite it. Invite that movement. Now we got to deepen the breath. Deepen the breath. Unwind your head first, your shoulders and arms next. Simply set up the other side, recross, bind your legs together. Make sure you're nice and caught up with your breath. Inhale up, lengthen through that rib cage, lengthen through the side body. Use the chair or not, use how you're going to press into your body parts. We want a vertical spine. We want to be balanced right to left in the pelvis. That's the setup. Find your breath in and out. Deepen that breath. One more time, deep breath. We're going to unwind the head, unwind the shoulders and the arms, and get our feet to the floor. So I know no standing moves today. I stuck with the chair as a way of kind of honoring this time of year. If there's any movement you want to do, if you're watching this on YouTube, press a pause and stretch it out while you're standing. Scoot back now into your chair and we come into this time for relaxation. So you want to have your props. So if there's things that you have used as a ritual, this is a really good time for that. Socks come on, maybe you got a blanket, maybe you lay down. And I'll get myself ready for our final meditation time. Before you close your eyes, I want to go through something so you'll be very familiar with this and don't feel feel lost when I'm talking us through it. There's a place in meditation that we call the still point. When we're connecting ourselves to the breath, there's this term used frequently as, to come to the still point. And that's this, that you imagine that as your breath comes in and out of your nose, when that breath is releasing through your nose, it's like, well, where's the air go to? How far does that breath move out of my nose? So the still point is where you'd think, I think it ends about there. That's the still point. The breath has finished its exhale out in front of your face to a point that we call the still point. So that's what I'm referring to. So let's close the eyes. Let the chair support you. Lean back in. Don't worry about right alignment. Right alignment now is as relaxed as you can be, as supported as you can feel. And I want you to take a breath in and then exhale to the still point. And take from your breath from the still point to the space between your eyes, deep into your head. And then find that breath connection from that center of the forehead out to the still point. back from the still point to the center of the head. That's it. Those are the two connecting points. So it's very close. The breath feels very close, in proximity to your body, in proximity to your face. That's where the breath is directed right now. It's just imagining it, just kind of realizing that this is possible, that there are these two places that you could sort of align with. Stay with that from the still point to the center of the forehead, deep within the body, and or deep within the head, and then exhale to the still point. Now let's broaden that a little bit. So inhale to the center of the forehead, exhale down to the soles of your feet or beyond. So let's like the length of our body now is our reference. Center of the forehead down to the soles of the feet and back up. So it's bigger, it's a broader experience of the breath that surrounds us. And that's how we'll kind of look at it. That we're creating an awareness of the breath as it surrounds the body. And we make connection from the center of the forehead to the soles of the feet, a broader range of experience. Relax your shoulders, soften your belly. No tension in the mouth. We don't need any tension in the face, tongue. Relax. We're going to go a little bit broader. So now we inhale to the center of the forehead. And as we exhale out to the room we're in, to the walls and ceiling of the room we're in. So you're finding that breath stretch out to the enclosure where you are situated, to the very end of that. So the whole room that you are in now has this feeling that it's a part of your breath. There's this huge circle of awareness now that we've created by connecting breath to the whole space we're in. You might deepen your breath. You might feel more expansive as you breathe. You might not, but you still imagine this spaciousness of breath that you now are completely enclosed by. And it's a safe space. It's a loving, unconditional space. It's a space filled with generosity, kindness, and tenderness. Now stay with me. Think of a favorite tree in your yard or even someplace in your neighborhood. Let's expand our breath. We take in the breath and it comes right into the center of the forehead. And we exhale it to that favorite tree, up into the branches of that tree. So we're outside of our home. We're out into nature, into the world, to a favorite tree, creating a bigger space. And there are more people that are now enclosed by that beautiful space of love and unconditional tenderness, kindness. Just imagine it. Feel how the breath is in your body. It might feel different. Soften your mouth and just allow that spaciousness that is so very inclusive, maybe of your neighborhood, that you are wishing all good things. And then finally, we're going to go as big as we can. That inhale comes to the center of the forehead. The exhale reaches to the moon and back. Inhale from the center of the forehead to the moon and back. Relax into it. Don't let this be work for you. Just imagine the spaciousness of that, the inclusiveness of that. Soften your mouth and just rest in that big, spacious breathing now. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the turning point when we start turning toward the light. Still in its darkness right now, but it's sort of day one in turning toward the light. This light that shines through us. And here's the prayer to go with that. First, make an intention to be open in your body, mind, and heart. Then place your hand on your heart as we pray. Lord, open unto me. Open unto me light for my darkness. Open unto me courage for my fear. Open unto me hope for my despair. Open unto me peace for my turmoil. Open unto me joy for my sorrow. Open unto me wisdom for my confusion. Open unto me forgiveness for my sin. Open unto me tenderness for my toughness. Open unto me love for my hate. Open unto me your will for me, my highest good. Lord, open unto me. Let your breath be any way you choose it to be now, as you deepen into this space of calm and ease in this time of the winter solstice. Relax the body. Relax the space around your heart. Soften the belly. Feel completely held, completely supported. And we start to give thanks now for our yoga practice. A theme that has been running through the class is to trust the body to enlighten the soul. And then we remember the words of Deepak Chopra, who has kind of defined, and I like them a lot, these intentions, these 4 pillars of intentionality with a yoga practice. That is to build this vibrant and healthy body, an alert and focused mind, a tender, loving, compassionate heart, and lightness of being. Can you feel that lightness of being right now? Let's introduce movement back into the body. Maybe you start to move forward on your chair, or get your feet to the floor again. And come back to seated in case you laid down. So movement in the body. We're going to take a big cleansing breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Make the sound of the sigh, because that's all part of what benefits your body in terms of regulating. So take that sound and just let it come out. Some gentle movements of the head and neck. So just very gently and mindfully tilt your ear towards your shoulder. You'll feel the stretch. So there's a lengthening on one side and there's sort of a contraction on the other side. You're just welcoming that. Let your arm just float away. That'll extend that a little bit. If it's too much already, keep your hand on your lap. Breathe into that. See if you can direct your breath into the tight space in your neck. Very gently, very mindfully, bring yourself up to center again, and take your time to go the other way. Ear tilts towards shoulder. Turn your head in a way that feels just right for you. Release your arm if you decide that's good on this side, so you can kind of lengthen and expand it even more. Full breath in and full breath out. Hand comes back to your lap, and very slowly, mindfully now, bring your head back into its neutral position. Let's close it up today. Inhale with me as we bring palms together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, take a sweeping action to share this beautiful, peaceful, quieting energy with our whole community, our whole world. Palms come together at the heart. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you so much for joining me. Blessings to you this holiday weekend.
Thanks, Julie. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Safe travels.
Thanks. You too.